Alright, what is up guys? VV back with another video. This time we're going to be going over the OP04 blue cards. So let's hop right into it. My videos have been going a little longer than I want them to, so let's try and get straight into it. Okay, first up we have Apis. 1 cost, 0 power, 2000 counter, East blue character. On play, you may trash 2 cards from your hand. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal up to 1 East blue type card and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, so on play you're trashing 2 cards from your hand to look at 5 cards from the top of your deck and then revealing your East blue type card, excuse me, not character type card, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. This is throwing 3 cards away. Because once you play this card, she's not much, right? This is a little 1 cost, 0 power. You're throwing out that and then 2 other cards in your hand to do a pseudo style, well, it's not pseudo, it is an East Blue search. I'm not seeing it, guys. 2000 counter, yes, it is a 7 out of 10 right away. For those who don't know, I give a 2000 counter a 7 out of 10 because it can be played in any deck that splashes blue or has blue in it. I'm just going to go 7 out of 10. The effect, though, I don't see the effect ever really using this. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe if you need it as a search. It's not the worst effect, but it's also not very practical. Trashing 3 cards to draw 1. So, 7 out of 10. Ippanmatsu. 2 cost, 1000 power, 1000 counter. This is a East Blue character effect on play. Up to 1 of your slash attribute characters gains plus 3000 power during this turn. Then trash 1 card from the top of your deck. Slash. I don't know what all the slash characters are. This guy's Wisdom. That's so he doesn't really even buff himself. It looks like he's like some type of arms dealer, like judging by the picture, like he's got some swords back there. Maybe he's a blacksmith or something, or a weapons dealer. I don't know what to say really, because the thing is, he's a 2 cost 1000 power. You're missing 2000. You're missing 4000 power on this card, right? Or excuse me, 3000 if I could do math. Because at 2 costs, you should have a 4000 power, 1000 counter. Well, so therefore you're missing 3000 power. And they're saying in the effect, the on play, up to 1 of your slash attribute characters gains the plus 3000 power during this turn. Then trash 1 card at the top of your deck. It is East Blue, so that does play into Nami. Yeah, that's fine. That's completely fine, that effect there. I just don't know who all's a slash type card. Yeah, I don't really know what to... I'm going to say it's average, though, because it does... Well, no, you need another card on the board with it. It does mill you a card. I'm going to go with slightly below average. This is a 4.5 out of 10. Ulti, 3 costs, 4000 power, 1000 counter, Animal Kingdom Pirates type character. Effects, Dawn ×1 when attacking... Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Dawn ×1. When attacking, return up to 1 character with a cost of 2 or less to the owner's hand or the bottom of their deck. So it becomes a 5k for a 1 Dawn investment, and you can return up to 1 character. So that could be yours or your opponent's. With a cost of 2 or less to the owner's hand or the bottom of their deck. Well, that's nice. You get to choose. Either to their hand if it's yours or to the bottom of the deck if your opponent. It's only a 2 or less, so I think it's really meant more for bouncing back your own Kaya or something like that. But it's an Animal Kingdom Pirates, so I could be wrong. I don't know what they're really going for. But overall, I think this is fine. You're losing 1000 power. That's it for this effect, and you're going to put 1 Dawn on to do the effect. I'm going to give it a solid 5 out of 10. Kaido. Whoa, here we go. 10 cost, 12,000 power. A 4 Emperors Animal Kingdom Pirates character. Effect on play, return up to 1 character with a cost of 8 or less and up to 1 character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hand. Whew. Yeah. 10 cost, 12,000 power. That's right on curve. You're losing the 1000 counter for an effect like this. On play, return up to 1 character with a cost of 8 or less and up to one character with a cost of 3 or less to the owner's hands. So it can be 2 different characters. So you could turn one of your guys, maybe the 3 or less, return their 8 or less, and it just goes back to each other's hands. Very, very powerful effect here. I'm putting him in the... I'm going to say he's a 9 out of 10. Because let's just say you were on curve. Like, let's say you were on the draw. Right? So they put down well, then they would have put down a 9 drop. I don't know. I still think theoretically, like let's say even if they put down an 8 drop on, when they had 9 Dawn open, you could bounce that card and like one of their 3 cost little blockers or little minions, one of their little characters that just get in the way, or bounce one of your characters for an additional effect. 3 costs, you could bounce back your Doflamingo, your 3 cost blocker, to get his effect again. This card has a lot of utility. It's a huge body. It's very strong, very high cost, high power, high efficiency, high value card. I'm going to go with 9 out of 10. I think he can get the job done in most situations. Very, very strong. Okay, parallel art looks awesome. King, 7 costs, 8,000 power, Animal Kingdom Pirates character, 1,000 counter. Okay, so he's only missing 1,000 power from being a vanilla 7 cost body because he still has 1k counter. And then effect on play, draw 1 card. Yeah, this is excellent. This is excellent. I would put this at bare minimum 8 out of 10. Because, like I said, this is just your straight up 7 cost vanilla card minus 1,000 power, but you're drawing a card that's replacing itself. This is in line with a 4 cost Kuzan, who's, Kuzan is a 4 cost 5,000 power with no counter with draw 1 card on play, but he also, instead of having the 1,000 counter, he has the additional effect of on attack he can minus 4 someone's cost. I think this is a very solid card. I don't know how much you'll see play, but for what this card does and what it's costed, this is an 8 out of 10 for me. Very high playability with a card like this in the deck that it would go in, in the deck that is trying to get a 7 cost card like this with the value, with the ability to replace itself. Very strong. 8 out of 10. Queen, 4 cost, 5,000 power, 1,000 counter, Animal Kingdom Pirates character. On play effect. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck, reveal a total of up to 2 Playgrounds or Ice Oni cards, and add them to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, let's see it one more time. On play, if your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, so that's they're going for the blue yellow queen, correct? I'm sorry guys, we've got to go back a little bit. Yeah. Is there another blue on that? No, there's queen. Yeah, so it's going for the queen. Sorry guys, I got to blast through these real quick. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates type, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck. Reveal a total of up to 2 Playgrounds or Ice Oni cards and add them to your hand. Then place the rest of the bottom of your deck in the order. It's a search that's going to grab you 1 and maybe 2 cards. So I'm going with this is a 7.5 out of 10. We're on with 7.5 out of 10. Okay, here's Ice Oni. It is an 8 cost, 0 power, 1,000 counter. It is a Plague Animal Kingdom Pirates. Wait, is that what he was saying? Playgrounds or Ice Oni cards. Okay. I don't know. We'll have to look into that later. Your turn. At the end of a battle, your turn. So this is an 8 cost card, right? That has 0 power. So this effect better justified, right? Your turn. At the end of a battle in which this character battles your opponent's character with a cost of 5 or less, place the opponent's character you battled with at the bottom of the owner's deck. Interesting. Okay, so you're kind of just hitting characters for 0, bouncing, but bottom decking them if they're 5 cost or less. Okay, I mean, 8 cost is a little steep, because like theoretically an 8 cost vanilla would be an 8 cost 10,000 power with a 1,000 counter like this, and you could just KO their characters outright. I'm going to go with a 4 out of 10 because I do think there's potential, the fact that you can search it the way you can with this last card we looked at, this queen card, but it's not crazy to me. I'm not going to lie, because you're paying 8 to effectively KO a 5 or less, or potentially KO a 5 or less. Not KO, excuse me, but bottom deck it. I don't know. I see it as like a 4 out of 10. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be a combo layer that comes out where, you know, it's like a blue-black variant where you just reduce everyone's cost to 5 and just start bottom decking their entire board. I don't know, though. But then you swing into this card with anything and it pretty much dies. So if you're not going to invest in saving it. Okay, moving on. So 4 out of 10 for Isoni. Okay, Sasaki, I don't know. 3 cost, 4,000 power, 2,000 counter, Animal Kingdom Pirates character. On play effect, return all cards in your hand to your deck and shuffle your deck. Then draw cards equal to the number you returned to your deck. So you're playing this guy, so it's -1 cards you had in your hand, and then you're just getting a new hand. It's kind of like a mulligan. Okay, this is fine. 2,000 counter as well. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. The effect is relevant enough to where you might want to use it. You're playing a 3-cost 4K body, which is not that far off because you usually want a 3-cost 5K. But it's giving you a 2,000 counter instead of that. So in the situation where you're so far behind, where it's like these cards in my hand, they're all dead to me right now, I'm going to play a card, so I'm going to keep my momentum and put a body on the board, and I'm going to draw cards equal to what's left in my hand. I think this card's probably an 8.5 out of 10, actually. Very, very good. Very relevant card at pretty much every stage of the game. Even late in the game, right? Unless you have only him in hand, then it's not as relevant, but he's still a 2K. But he's still a 2K counter. So yeah, I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10. Jack. Okay, Jack is a 2-cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter. On KO, draw 1 card. Hang on, let me read. King was on play, draw 1 card. And Jack is on KO, draw 1 card. So not quite as good, because they can probably ignore this card. So unless there ends up being a way where you can KO him yourself, I don't see this card as being very strong. Personally, I'm going to put this, it's 1K under its cost, under its vanilla cost, and at KO effect, I don't know. I'm going to go with like a 4 out of 10. I'm going with 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, real quick. There's such a big difference with on play and on KO. On KO means your opponent gets to choose when you're going to have that effect, when it suits him, right? Or he just ignores it. You know, and this card you can ignore because they have to invest 2 Dawn into it every single time just to swing for 5. So he can literally ignore this card every single time. Unless you start pumping all this Dawn into it, and now you're just pumping extra Dawn just to hopefully he'll attack him to draw the card. Excuse me. Because then you could... No, I don't know. I'm sorry. I got to go with like a 4 out of 10. I really should probably go with 3.5 out of 10, but it can draw a card if eventually it can draw a card. So I'm going with a 4 out of 10. Hanger, 2 cost, 0 power, 1,000 counter. Real quick, I'm sorry. I got to see this. He's a strike, so he's not a slash either to go with that 1 card we talked about earlier. Anyway, sorry guys, that just popped in my head. So this guy, Hanger, he's a 2 cost East Blue character with a 1,000 counter, no power. Effect, activate main. You may trash 1 card from your hand and rest this character to draw a card. Okay, now that is good. That is fine. You're using this as a way to just cycle cards. So he's going to also act as a pseudo blocker, or he's going to eat one of the removal events, which is just as good if not better, because he's going to say, okay, 2 cost. You put him down, you trash, and you cycle. You're not just drawing a card for free, but you're cycling. So any type of events that don't apply to your matchup you're in, or any type of characters who are just kind of dead against what's on the board, well, no problem. You activate him, trash it, and draw a card. And all you have to do is rest him. Sure. Swing into him, and now he was like a blocker. You know, I don't think you should defend him, right? Unless, who knows, maybe they'll swing at him with like a 0 cost, and you do a 1K counter to keep drawing cards. That might be worth it. I don't know. It depends on the situation. But this card, very solid for what it is. I'm going with a 5 out of 10. This is just an extremely average card. Does what you want it to, and nothing more. It draws you a card. Okay, or cycles you a card, I should say. Who's Who? 1 cost, 2,000 power, 1,000 counter. This is an Animal Kingdom Pirates character. Effect, on play, look at 5 cards. Yeah, I thought so. It had the exact stat lines. On play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Animal Kingdom Pirates type card other than Who's Who, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay. This is just a 7 out of 10 searcher average rating I give. You know, Remember, 5 out of 10 for an average card, but if you take an average card and reduce it by a little bit to give it a searcher or a blocker effect, I'm probably going to go up and up and up from there, right? So the searchers, they're a good deal better than just being average for their cost because they are drawing you a card essentially for the reduction of 1,000 power. And it does allow, there is the potential that it whiffs, right? That's why I can't give it much more than a 7 out of 10. But if the deck's built properly, it should almost never whiff, right? Like maybe 1 out of 10, 1 out of 15 times it'll whiff. But generally speaking, these look at 5 cards from the top search effects should pretty much never whiff unless you're trying to make, some people get greedy with their deck design. Anyway, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. That's what I think I give all searchers that are 1/2/1 bodies. Oh man, that's a really cool parallel art. I do like that a lot. Black Maria, 3 cost, 3,000 power, 1,000 counter. Okay. This is a Animal Kingdom Pirates character. The effect is activate main, pay 2, right? So just rest 2 Dawn. You may rest this character, draw 1 card. Trigger, play this card. So that's definitely blue-yellow vibes right there, right? So this is a draw card effect. Now, in order to use her the turn she comes into play, she will cost you 5. But, it'll be 3 to play her and then 2 to activate. But if you get her off the trigger, man, that's just straight value. I think this card is everything it's meant to be. This is a control style card that's going to draw you cards and then effectively act as a blocker or a removal dump, right? Like a removal bait. Because, yeah, she's just a 3. You're not swinging with this card, right? You technically can swing with her, right? Like say they have one life card left and you've got like 4 characters on the board, so you're trying to make every attack count or something, right? That's fine. Excuse me, but you're realistically you're not swinging with this card. So and you are going to rest her, so the 3K power is relevant. So that way they can't take her out with a block with a 1 or 2 cost searcher that easily. They'll have to maybe invest where you can easily save her because you're just every main you're just paying 2, resting this character and drawing a card. So I think this card is excellent. I'm going to be honest. I think this is like and it has trigger play this card. I'm going with 8 out of 10. I'm going with an 8 out of 10 with this card. This is my style card, guys. I'm not going to lie. This card here, this is my style of card. I like this a lot. Okay, page 1. 4 costs, 6,000 power, 0 counter. So let's see what takes that in the effects area. Animal Kingdom Pirates character. Dawn times 1 is the effect is Dawn times 1 once per turn. When you activate an event, draw 1 card. Then place 1 card from your hand at the bottom of your deck. So it's a cycle. It is a cycle effect. He is a 4/6, so that's very strong. And it is drawing. Now you do have to activate an event, and it's Dawn times 1 once per turn. So you can activate this pretty much twice. Or how do I say this? You can activate it on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn, and then on your turn, and then on your opponent's turn. You have the chance as long as you're activating an event. You can draw 1 card, but you are going to, it is just a cycle card because you're drawing 1 and bottom decking the other. So I'm going to give this I think this is a solid card because it's going to swing for 7. You're paying for a 4 cost, 6,000 power. You can swing with that alone and it'd still be relevant. But if you want the effect, 4 cost, 7K swinging for a 1 Dawn investment, and it's going to cycle a card, I'm going 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. Rocky. I'm not sure. 5 cost, 7,000 power, 1,000 counter, giant Animal Kingdom Pirates character. This is a vanilla 5 out of 10. All right, here's that Playgrounds card. I was wondering we were going to get to this. It is a 2 cost Animal Kingdoms event. Animal Kingdom Pirates event. The effect is you may trash 1 Ice Oni, remember the 8 cost card, from your hand and place 1 character with a cost of 4 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. Play 1 Ice Oni from your trash. Okay, so you're trashing an Ice Oni, putting a 4 cost or less on the bottom of the owner's deck, and then playing an Ice Oni. That's pretty cool. That's interesting. This is your way of getting around the cost of 8. It is combo-y, right? You need the 2-card interaction. And then the trigger for this card, by the way, it does have a trigger. Activate this card's main effect. Oh, man, this is just fine with me. This card is just fine with me. It is a little double interaction there, required, but I think this card is really good. This would be a fun deck to mess around with and try to, see how competitive you can make it. With a blue-yellow leader like Queen, I think this deck is very doable. And it has trigger where you can activate it. So with any kind of yellow cards where you're doing hand manipulation, or excuse me, I keep saying hand manipulation. With life manipulation, yeah, this could be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. This could be a very interesting deck to play against. A very frustrating deck to play against. Very cool. Okay, so I'll give this card because I don't know the potential of it, I think I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. It's just barely above average for me because you need the Iconian in your hand in order to bottom deck their 4 or less, the cost of 4 or less card on their side, and then you can play it as well, to get the effect. It has trigger. Maybe it's a 6 out of 10. I'm gonna go with a. It's a 2 cost. I'm going with 6.5 out of 10. Sorry guys, I had to bump it up to 6 because you are bottom decking a 4 or less, a cost of 4 or less for only 2 Dawn, but it does require the Ice Handy. So 6 out of 10. Final answer. Sorry, guys. I know that one's crazy. 6 out of 10. That's just a very interesting card, and it's hard for me to judge these events, so y'all bear with me. Tell me what y'all think about it in the, in the comments below. Okay, Gum Gum Red Rock. 6 cost. Straw Hat Crew. Blue event. Effect. Main. Place up to 1 character at the bottom of the owner's deck. Oh, man. Trigger is place up to 1 character with a cost of 4 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So it's just like a miniature effect. This card is wildly good. This card is incredible. This card literally says, pay 6, remove any character from the game. Any character from the game. The only way that this will ever, be counterable in the future is if there is a card that comes out, a character card, or some type of event or something that makes it where your cards cannot be targeted whatsoever. Or if there's an effect that comes and says your characters cannot be placed at the bottom of the owner's deck, but that doesn't exist. This card is as close to a 10 out of 10 I can give for an event like this, I think. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 because that is a 6 cost, guys. That is a 6 cost. It's going to cost you your whole turn. But it does literally say place up to 1 character at the bottom of the owner's deck. Any character. So it could be a 10 cost Kaido, a 10 cost Kuzan, 9 cost Whitebeard, or Edward Newgate, whatever. This card is outstanding. In the early game, it's a dead card in hand, right? And against certain decks, it's probably pretty dead as well. But on paper, man, this card is extreme. I'm going 9 out of 10 with this card because it removes literally anything you need. Okay, Dragon Twister Demolition Breath. Awesome name here. Okay, we got a 2 cost 4 Emperors Animal Kingdom Pirates type event effect. Up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains plus 4,000 power during this battle. Okay, so it's a 2 cost 4K counter. And then it has place up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. The second part, not super relevant. I guess it's probably really good against the Zoro decks and maybe the Trafalgar Law decks. So that's nice. That's not bad. It does have a trigger, return up to 1 character with a cost of 6 or less to the owner's hand instead of to the bottom of the owner's deck. The trigger is very strong, actually. That has a lot more utility. But the effect, place up to 1 character with a cost of 1 or less at the bottom of the owner's deck. So that's meant to be a attack, right? A defensive attack on someone, basically, like a counter attack. And the 4,000 counter is really nice. I'm just going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I think I give all searchers and all 2 cost 2,000 counters, or 2 cost 4,000 counters, about a 7 or 7.5, depending on how strong the effect is. I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Okay, and I think that's it. Yep. These are all the blue cards and all the leaders. I've already gone over the leaders in another video, so check that out if you haven't seen it already. So overall, overall I'm gonna say the blue cards came out really. There's a lot of really good blue cards. Even if some of them were a little better than average, just slightly better than average, that's still better than nothing, right? It's better than having a bunch of below average cards. So Apis, 2K counter, just fine. Ifematsu, I don't know about this card. This one was pretty mid. Ulti, this one has interesting potential, right? Return up to one. Wait. There's a slash. Yeah, okay. Sorry, that card just gets me. It gets under my skin. I don't know what's going on with that card. Ulti was okay, right? Returning up to one character that costs 2 or less to the owner's hand or to the bottom of their deck. Kaido is excellent. This is very, very strong. 9 out of 10. Awesome art here. Very awesome. I think King is just very playable. Playing a 7 cost 8K is already fine. 9K is better, obviously. You almost wish it didn't have the counter and had the 9K instead. But on play, drawing a card is just... When a card replaces itself immediately, it has to start at a 7 out of 10, right? And then for this guy to be an 8K body, that gets around all 2K counters, 3K counters. They have to go straight to the 4K counters. So just putting 1 Dawn on this guy means they're not even a 4K counter is going to save them. They got to invest more. Queen was solid. This Ice Oni was really interesting. Sasaki, however you say it. This is a great 2K counter. Great 2K counter. Jack was a little disappointing. Hanger was, fine. Who's Who, good searcher. Black Marie, I liked this card. I like the art too, but I liked this card a lot. Page 1 was, again, this high power. These high power cards are nice, man. I think they're going to go a long way. Just a vanilla. And really cool Gum Red Rock was amazing. But this Playgrounds was interesting, like the Ice Oni. Very cool. Blue got some awesome stuff. I can't wait to see where that goes. A lot of potential coming out of blue. So and a lot of, as we saw, there's going to be a red-blue, a blue-black, and a blue-green, a blue-yellow, excuse me. And we already know there's going to be a, well, there already is a blue-green, right, with Sanji. That's interesting. Who knows? Maybe you always wonder when a card's going to come out that turns on one of the older leaders, and who knows? I'm not saying anything came out in this, in these cards that's going to turn it on, but anyway, it's just something to think about. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for staying this long and hearing me ramble about all these cards. I always appreciate it, and that about wraps up this video. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That would really help me out. Or if you just like the video, however you gotta justify it in your mind. I would really appreciate it either way if you like and subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.